Well, hello, everyone. Thanks to everyone for joining. We have a few things to talk about, so let's kick this off. Rao, are you ready to give the tech update?
Yeah, give me 1 second. I'm going to copy the link in the chat here. So there's the link to Community Update 191, and let me share my screen. All right, welcome to Community Update 191. So we have, I think we have a couple of demos planned yesterday, but I'm not sure where we'll end up with that, but we'll see. But as far as the networks are concerned, NetZipper and Gurinder are in the process of updating mainnet to 0.12.2, which is basically the same version as what we have currently, except for a fix that Will has created for the transaction API. So that's in process right now. The other changes to the network, Gurinder is to the networks, I should say. Gurinder is trying to set up, or is in the process of setting up, a leaderless block merge testnet. So the current block merge testnet, it starts with whatever host you're trying to connect to, .bm.testnet, and the leaderless will probably be called whatever, like the observer or node number, whatever you're trying to connect to, .llbm for leaderless block merge .testnet.RChain co-op. The idea is that we want to get the community start testing the latest leaderless block merge code. But I think some folks may be already doing heavy testing on the regular block merge testnet. So we didn't want to disturb that, the one that is there already with the bm.testnet, in case they wanted to preserve state for long-running tests or something like that. So the LLBM will be an additional one that has the latest code. Now, by having these two testnets run in parallel, it also helps us to see if some behavior, some unexpected behavior is related to the latest code, or whether that's that's there in the previous code also. So that's the other reason why we want to leave it separate like that. And the LLBM testnet will be updated a little bit more as we work through the bugs and tests and all that kind of stuff. So that's the idea behind the two different block merge test nets. But both of them really are targeted to hard fork 2. So once we determine that the LLBM testnet is reasonably stable, we're going to retire the other block merge testnet. So this also gives time for people that are testing the existing block merge testnet to migrate over to LLBM over the next few days. That's the idea. So that, I think, is overall the state of the affairs. So the good news is that leaderless block merge is going to be on testnet shortly. I'm expecting, I mean, I think the code is there. We just need to cut the release and then get the machine up and then get the code on there. That's the work that Gurinder and NetZipper are doing at the moment. The one thing that we talked about last week was that there was a tuple space mismatch error, which occurs once in several months on the mainnet. Will has put in a PR to alleviate this, and this doesn't necessarily fix the thing as much as saying, okay, well, this tuple space mismatch, we will rerun the replay a couple more times to see if the node resolves and proceeds forward without the error. So that's what it does. And if the node still sees the tuple space error after the extra 3 times run, then the node proceeds to slash. That's the behavior with this. So we will be, the PR is in, it needs to be reviewed at the moment, and then it will be tested more thoroughly to make sure, first of all, that it doesn't cause any problems, unanticipated problems, and also to see if we can run it for a long enough time to see if we detect the node recovery behavior. That's a little bit iffy in the sense that, first of all, we don't see this often, and we don't know if it's going to recover or whatever. But if it is persisting after this, at least we know that we should be able to see where the problem is and then go after the root cause of that. And that's the thinking behind this PR and the test process for this. Like I said, the leaderless block merge code is ready to move to a testnet. There is still some work that needs to be done. NutZipper has run the leaderless block merge code, I think, up to 2,000 blocks. Obviously, we want to run it for much longer on the testnet. There is some additional optimization work that needs to be done, and some other pieces that need to be done. But including one of the key things, of course, that needs to be done is the testing aspects. Will is going to start working with NutZipper to write Casper tests, and then NutZipper will write more the tests for the rest of it. And the pieces that need to be done, they're not necessarily critical in the sense that they could be applied as patches once we have the hard fork on the mainnet. This is what we're trying to do, is to go through the remaining items and say, okay, what needs to be prioritized because it has a hard fork impact and so needs to be done now versus what can be just applied as a regular patch to 013 release once it's on the mainnet. So we're going to separate them out that way and prioritize them along with the tests, and then move the prioritized tasks through. That's what we're doing. On the rev balances, Tom Slav is on a health break right now, but he's going to get back into completing the direct merging of rev balances. In particular, the piece where in case of a double spend, he needs to reject both the deploys. That's the piece he's going to be working on. And then, of course, he'll also help with the tests with the leaderless block merge when he gets back. And then Dennis is continuing the work on the radix tree implementation of history, and in LMDB right now. He's sorry, the history implementation, and he is currently examining the code for stack safety, and is so he's doing different analysis and the storage optimization and things like that on the code. So that's what's going on. So that will be completed probably in several days. So where we are overall, I guess the good news is that we have the leaderless block merge code ready to go onto the testnet in the September timeframe as promised, but getting it on the mainnet, it looks like it'll take a few more weeks, but as of now, we expect that it'll be done in October. The piece that is remaining is the tests primarily, and any other pieces that have to go on to the hard fork in this hard fork. Those are the ones that we need to get them in and test and move them forward. That's where we are. Before I see, we'll see who is there for the demos, but are there any questions, comments on this piece? Oh, one thing I want to add actually to what I said, Gurinder has also been helping on getting the RChain Publishing folks with their infrastructure ready for their own shard and all that. So that's another thing that's been going on. With that, are there any questions on this part of the tech update?
Yeah, I have a question. When will this block merge thing be ready?
Yeah, so it's going on the testnet in the next day or two. And in terms of being on the mainnet, October is what we're looking at. Originally, we said September. So there's a few weeks delay here in terms of going on the mainnet. But like I said, the testnet is going to be ready with the leaderless block merge. But I expect, sort of between today, tomorrow, or say 1 or 2 days. Does that answer your question? Okay.
Yeah. So it's before Christmas.
Oh, well before, well before Christmas, I hope. because October is what we're looking at.
And what
Okay.
happened to Thomas Love? Yes,
Well,
he's taking a health break.
yeah, he just needed a rest break. That he's seeing the doctors next couple of days. So that's he wanted to take some time off and attend to his health.
It's no burnout or so.
I mean, everybody has a burnout, so I can't say it's not burnout, but no, this is really just that he needed to see the doctor, and that's what he's doing. Yeah, I was telling the team today that, you know, we do need to take some downtime after the block merge release is done.
For sure, no question. All right, anything else? Raphael is here. Raphael, did you have a demo?
Yeah, I can do a quick demo.
Okay.
So let's go. So I'm Raphael. I'm working on the dappy project, which is a web browser and name system that does not use the DNS, but instead use the blockchain. And in our case, it's RChain, of course. So I'm working on the browser, which we will play with a bit later, as well as the underlying rholang code for the name system, which is an NFT contract, and can also deal with fungible tokens. So just a quick demo today to show you how easy it is to build a bridge on RChain. So what's a bridge? So a bridge is just a representation of a token on a blockchain that represents a value from somewhere else. So for example, USDC is a bridge between US dollar, of course, and some blockchain tokens on Ethereum, I guess. And on Binance, they also have lots of wrapped tokens. For example, you can send Bitcoin to a given address, and it will become a wrapped Bitcoin on the Binance Smart Chain network. So this is a bridge, and today we're going to mimic doing a bridge between Bitcoin and RChain. So we're going to skip lots of steps. Let's just consider that I have 1,000 Bitcoin, for example, and I'm going to issue them on the RChain testnet as a wrapped Bitcoin. So yeah, we're going to do the demo with the block merge testnet, and of course we will use a RChain token. So let's get into the code. For some operations, we will use dappy, and for some, we will use the command line. So I'm going to use the master contract that is already deployed on the block merge testnet. And so first step is to create a fungible tokens contract. So it's as simple as this, and I'm going to call this contract wrapped BTC. And so that's it. This you can do it on dappy browser, except that you can't choose the contract ID on dappy browser, but soon you will be able to choose the contract ID. So yeah, this will take just a bit more time than local demos that I did previously because it's on the testnet. So let's wait a bit. And I also have this box here referenced in dappy browser. And of course, it's linked to a private key. So it's a kind of a second layer thing. Okay, so let's wait. So maybe I can show the steps. So the first one is create the fungible tokens contract. The second one is create the tokens. And then basically we will have our bridge ready because we have representations of the Bitcoins on the RChain blockchain. few seconds. Okay, so our contract is deployed. I can do node CLI view just to check the process. Of course, it will be empty, but okay. So the observer node is just a bit late. That's why we have this error. But yeah, we have booked this contract ID. No one can create it from now. So we're going to issue the tokens because it takes a bit of time. So yeah, this, oops, where is it? Okay, this environment variable has been set. So I can now create 1000 tokens because I'm the owner of the contract. Let's try this node CLI view again. Okay, so we have a working request. We can check it in the dappy browser. So I have lots of accounts, but I know that this is the right one. And I just click on the box and I see that there is this new super key. And basically this super key is the capability because RChain token uses OCAP. So we see that we are the owner of the wrapped BTC contract. That's why we are able to deploy this and to issue tokens. So now we just have to wait a bit again, and we should see our 1000 wrapped BTC very soon. Okay, not yet. You can see that this is the NFT for the dappy website on the dappy name system. So I can access the website through dappy browser.
You need to make this demo an NFT.
What?
You need to make the video of this demo be an NFT.
Yes, I can do this demo as well. I think I've done it, but maybe not on the RChain debrief. Okay, maybe just a few seconds. Okay, not yet. So I guess that leaderless testnet will of course be a bit faster because we don't have to wait for the leader to propose a block. Okay. Okay, there we can see it. So this is the result from the CLI command. There is a new purse with 1000 BTC. So it's wrapped BTC, of course. Let's check it on the dappy browser. It's the exact same code, of course. Okay, quantity 1000. So in the fungible tokens, wrapped BTC contract. So, and now, of course, those are fungible tokens. So I can send any amount to anyone. And if I am running an exchange like website or something like that, I can send the wrapped BTC to the proper addresses. So let's just send. So I know that there is someone who is named Satoshi in this RChain token ecosystem. So I'll just send him to wrapped BTC. And yeah, that's it. We don't have to wait for the result, but that was it for the demo. Let me get back to the slides. So cool, we have wrapped BTC on RChain. What can be improved? So two things. One is the ability to swap tokens in RChain token. Instead of always go through Rev, because right now we can just say, hey, I have one wrapped BTC. I want 300,000 revs in exchange for it. Maybe if there are also wrapped Ethereum, we could directly swap. This could be very cool. And
Yes.
also the multi-sig. Right now, it's all controlled by my private key. But maybe we could have a system where many private keys have to validate all the actions that are taken on a contract. This could be very cool because this would add lots of trust for people using this wrapped BTC on RChain. So that's it. So I posted something on the Discord regarding regarding those two improvements, and so yeah, that's it for today.
Thank you very much, Raphael. That was an interesting demo. Does anyone have any questions for Raphael?
No, that's very nice. So what motivated you to go in this direction?
Because I saw that lots of people are, talking about the DeFi stuff in the RChain channels, and DeFi. Lots of DeFi applications are as simple as bridges, so we can already do very much with what we have. That's
yes.
Yeah, what I wanted to show.
Yeah, I mean, people don't realize how powerful that feature to be able to mint your own token contracts and all that as a native or as a natural functionality is. There's a lot of different things you can do, right?
Yep.
And things like Stellar, for example, are all about connecting to multiple parties and using the Stellar lumens as the intermediate mechanism to transfer value from USD to Euro to whatever else. That sort of thing.
Very good.
Very good.
Yep. Do we have the looks like we don't have the RPI folks.
That's right. I don't see them on here.
Okay. All right. So I guess we'll push that to the next time. But as I understand it, they now have they've been able to demonstrate within their team purchasing the NFT from a phone. So they can load a photograph up on chain and wrap it in an NFT and then purchase it from a phone. Remarkably similar to a demo that I remember giving in Berlin in 2018. All right. So moving on then, I have some good news. I can't say much here, but I can say a lot more details in the closed door session on Friday. But RChain has been able to close some investment, and that's about all I can say here. But if you want more details, please come to the Friday meeting and we can walk you through everything that's going on. Also, we now have a lot of promotional materials thanks to Shutzi and the China team. We have a lot of promotional materials for our talk at the AIM conference in Dubai this morning at 5 a.m. I had the pleasure of meeting with my other panelists and kind of doing a dry run of the discussion. So that should be quite fun. Darryl, I think, is also going. Is that right, Darryl? You're joining us in Dubai?
Yep, that's the plan.
And you'll be running a booth, right? You and Atticbee will be running a booth on our team. That's
that's the plan. And we have a TV screen as well, so we're preparing video materials for that. And the video materials, they don't want us to kind of play audio, at least not very loud. So the video materials all have to be kind of text driven. So I've been working on that. Hopefully I'll have some more material ready by then. But yeah.
Very good.
I noticed that two of the speakers are Canadians that are going to be
Right.
speaking with you.
That's right. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. They seem to be good folks. I enjoyed chatting with them this morning.
Very nice.
Yes. And then I also fingers crossed. Well, I mean, I was invited down to SF for a talk tomorrow at the Foresight Institute. This is not me giving a talk, but me attending a talk, and then rubbing elbows with folks in person at the Foresight Institute after the talk. So if I am able to successfully get dog care for fiber, I will head down and participate in that and get folks up to speed on what's at the Foresight Institute, get more folks up to speed on what's happening with RChain.
Very cool.
Yeah. So that's beginning to pay off. It was quite interesting. On Monday, I had resolved, as a part of my job for the day, to make sure that I wrote to Allison Duttman, who is the president of the Foresight Institute, and lo and behold, there was a email in my inbox from Allison. So we seem to be on the same wave. So that's good. All right. Let's see. The board has a slate of candidates. We're still going through just a last little bit of due diligence. And we'll announce the candidates on Thursday for those who are balloted to run for board positions. Any questions about that? All right. Let's see. Is there anything else we need to cover? Any questions or comments from the community?
I haven't done the week in review yet.
Oh, thank you. I'm not enough sleep on my part. Please go ahead.
Okay, so here's the week in review for last Thursday, September 23rd to today, September 29th. So last Thursday in the governance committee, the insanely dedicated Jim Weitzcarver reported in from his hospital bed. And much of the discussion was around moderating Discord and any other co-op forums. And the plan is to clarify the rules channel on Discord and create a moderation channel, which Ian did. On Friday, in the Climate Coordination RCast, we discussed the shortcomings with net zero by 2050, which is essentially a scam, climate proposals, and an ongoing 6-month long anti-logging protest in Canada. The Guardian also reported that 227 climate activists were killed in 2020 alone. We also discussed the growth of metaverses and virtual property, social tokens and NFTs, and how music will be the catalyst for the real societal changes that social tokens and NFTs represent. So that was in the Climate Coordination RCast. I still haven't edited it, so it's not up yet, but hopefully soon. On Monday in the Casper Stand-Up, this week's Casper Stand-Up covered quantum consensus and Casper as a classical simulation of quantum mechanics and some implications for the space calculus. Also on Monday, actually not on Monday, so I don't think there was any RDev or work study or education calls this week due to Jim's heart surgery. So yeah, I think that's why there's none of that there. On yesterday in the communications working group, we discussed the latest situation with the RChain NFT project. We also discussed getting materials ready for the Dubai conference and all the hard work that Shutzi and Atticbee from the China team have put in on it. And this morning in the active member hangout, once again, this morning, Jim shows up from the hospital and hosts the call after receiving double bypass surgery a couple days ago. And he is looking good, and he will be going in for rehab tomorrow. Gary also showed up, who is battling health issues of his own. So it was good to see him there. And Raphael showed up, and we discussed a bit about the Dubai trip. And I just want to do a shout out to thank Schutze and Atticbee for all the tireless work they've been doing in preparation for this Dubai trip. It is truly awe-inspiring what they and the China team have done for RChain over the last week or two. And I just want to say thank you. And that is it.
Very good. Thank you, Darryl. Yeah, it's really good to see the connections and support that people are giving each other as we face inevitable health issues. So it's great. Again, you know, one of the major things with RChain is that we have to build, you know, a human network as much as a network of computers. So it's good to see that happening.
You're here.
All right. Anything else from folks? Any questions, comments, concerns? This is your debrief as much as it is ours. So anything you want to cover?
Yeah, I have a question about China.
Okay.
China has banned all transactions in cryptocurrency. Is it of influence on RChain?
So far, it has not been much influence. I think you'll find that our approach to taking the high road is beginning to pay off. So, you know, we haven't really we haven't actively listed on any exchanges, right? The exchanges that have listed the Rev, they've done so on their own with support from our dev team, because, you know, if we have people calling against our APIs, that's a good thing. But by and large, you know, we've been very, very circumspect with respect to regulatory issues, and also with respect, you know, just trying to make sure that we walk the walk, right? We have a particular aim and goal, and we have a set of values, and and that singles us out from many projects. I also, you know, I've been trying to point out step by step that if we really do believe that dApps are where the transaction volume is, and that seems a fairly easy thing to show, then for a dApp to manage its rev supply, the exchange is not necessarily the place to go to do that kind of enterprise resource management. And I think that we as a community, we need to begin building alternatives to exchanges so that dApps can manage their rev supply. I mean, if, you know, a metaphor is that dApps are electric vehicles, and the kind of instruments we need to build are charging stations. So that's a good metaphor, right? And the rev is the electricity. But the exchanges themselves are not good charging stations. We need to build alternative instruments, in my opinion, and that's going to be more in alignment with I think the kind of concerns that have been expressed by the Chinese government, but also by some of the regulatory concerns here in the U.S. Right? The fact of the matter is, and this is something that causes people to kind of, you know, we were talking with a group just yesterday, and I said, well, you know, tokens have been used for controlling access to internet-facing APIs for decades, and they're like, what are you talking about? And then you go through, like, well, if you try to call the Google API, you can't just call it. You have to walk up to one of their web pages and get an access token, and that helps people understand the role of the Rev. The Rev is an access token. You can't run smart contracts or store data on the network unless you have Rev. And so managing that kind of utility is more like managing your energy supply. And so we want to provide the right kind of infrastructure for that sort of thing. And as long as we continue to walk that path, we should be on the right side of any regulatory concerns. And just to give us, you know, some evidence that that's the case, we were the only blockchain project invited to the IFF, right? So the International Financial Forum is the premier conference where the Chinese financial institutions and the Chinese government, confer, talk to each other. And we were the only blockchain project that was invited to that in May, after President Xi had made the first announcement of the serious crackdowns. So I think we're in good stead. Now, it doesn't mean that the fallout from the impact on other crypto projects, that might hit us in some way that we're haven't predicted, but so far we're in good standing. So long-winded answer, but hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, it does. And I have another question about Mark Solms. How is it? Can you give an update on that?
Yeah. I apologize. I've just been super swamped with a lot of other things, but it is on my to-do list. Hopefully, on the 13-hour flight from Seattle to Dubai, I'll have enough time to write that letter, because that's it's a window of time where I'm not interrupted by 10,000 other things I need to attend to.
Yeah, okay, I can imagine. Yeah. Good luck.
Thank you. All right. Any other questions? Okay. Well, before we sign off, I just want to give a shout out to all the staff and dev team and everyone who works for RChain, because everybody works very hard. They put in extremely long hours, and that's why this project is succeeding. So we owe a round of applause to all the folks who are working just nonstop to make this thing work. And with that, please stay safe, stay warm, and see you on the other side.